So, dear students, moving on to the next paragraph. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy. So, where was the ceremony taking place? It was taking place where? In the amphitheatre, which I have already explained earlier. What is amphitheatre? Right? It is a theatre without a roof, formed because of the surrounding buildings. Right? And it was taking place over the sandstone. And once this place was the seat of white supremacy. That means it was the center of the white supremacy at that time. And the same place, see, is seeing a very different phase right now. Okay? And now, it was the site of rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of the South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. Right? So now the same place is now the rainbow gathering. Rainbow gathering means the people from all kind of nations, people from all types of colors and different types of beliefs have gathered together. Right? And why they have gathered? Because now a democratic government is being installed over here, being settled over here. Right? Earlier it was a racial government, but now it is a non-racial form of government which is going to be established and installed. Okay. On the lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zenani. Nelson Mandela is saying further that at that lovely autumn day, actually the ceremony was taking place and the season was of autumn season, right? The season just before the winter season, right? So he was being accompanied by his daughter Zenani. Okay. On the podium, you understand podium, right? A kind of platform where a person delivers a speech or reads something out. That is podium. So on the podium, Mr. D. Clark was first sworn in as second deputy president, right? So he's sworn as the first deputy president, Mr. D. Clark, right? Then, so Mr. D. Clark, he took oath as the second deputy president. After that, another person named Thabo Mbeki, he took oath as first deputy president. When it was my turn, Nelson Mandela is saying that it was when his turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. So what he's saying that I oathed myself that I will obey and uphold the constitution. Constitution means, you know, that it is a set of rules, right, on a government works, right, directions on a government works. So he will uphold the constitution. That means he will abide by the constitution. He will follow the constitution, right, and obey it, and to devote myself, and he will completely devote himself to the well-being of the republic. That means for the benefit and for the development of republic and its people. To other assembled guests and the watching world, I said, for the other people, Nelson Mandela said, who assembled over there, today all of us do by our presence here. That today they all are present up to their own will, and they all confer glory and hope to the newborn liberty. That means they offer glory and a hope to this newborn liberty. That means this liberty was newborn out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster. So what was the experience earlier? It was the extraordinary human disaster experience, right? It was not a normal experience. It was a very harsh experience that he has undergone, right? And that lasted too long. And that particular disastrous extraordinary human suffering that lasted for a long time, right? And out of this disaster, a society should born of which all humanity will be proud. So now he's hoping that out of this atrocity, out of such tyranny, a new society should born, right? That entire human race will be proud of that society. We who were outlaws not so long ago. Outlaws means a person who were exempted from all kind of benefits, right, of being a resident of any country. So they were exempted from all kind of things and have today been given the rare privilege. And the same people who were outlaws not so long, now the same people have got an extra benefit, privilege to be host to the nations of the world, that they will become the host to the nations of the world who would come, right, to their land, on our own soil, on their own land, on their own soil. We thank all of our distinguished international guests. So he's thanking all the guests who have come there, international guests, right? He's thanking them. And why they have come? They have having come to take possession with the people of our country. So they all have come to take the possession, to take the authority with whom? With the people of his country, of what it after all, whatever has been achieved after all is a common victory. It is not the victory of any particular society, any particular race, but it is the victory of the entire human society. So it is saying it is a common victory, a common triumph for justice, for peace, and for human dignity. Dignity means respect. Okay? Victory means triumph. Okay? It is not only the victory of a particular thing, it is the victory of justice, victory of peace, victory of human dignity. Okay? Further, we have at last achieved our political emancipation. Right? Emancipation means freedom from restriction. It is given already in the book. Right? So we have all achieved at last this political emancipation. We pledge ourselves, that means we take oath within ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty. He is taking oath that he will liberate all the people from this continuing, that means persisting, regular bondage of poverty. Bondage means slavery, gulami, slavery. What is my bondage? I am writing over here. Bondage means slavery. Okay. So he is taking oath that he will liberate all his people from this continual bondage of poverty, deprivation. What do you mean by deprivation? When you are exempted from any particular thing of which all are availing, that is called deprivation. Right? Everybody is availing good benefit and you are not availing that. That means you are suffering a deprivation. Okay? So, from this continual bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. So, it's focusing on every area of discrimination. People are discriminated on the basis of their wealth, right? Their availabilities, their sufferings, their gender sometimes, and other discrimination factors as well. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. What he is swearing to himself, that it will never happen again that this beautiful land of South Africa will experience this kind of oppression of one person by another. Right? The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. And the sun which is setting today, of that particular day on which this new democratic form of government is being established, now the sun will not set again on this human civilization as it is setting on this beautiful day. Right? Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. So, before that, atrocity was reigning. Reigning means ruling. But today, now let the freedom reign. Let the freedom rule the world, rule the Africa. Okay? Now, next page. So all the ceremonies were taking place. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe. Just a moment. So what Mandela is saying, whatever he has seen that day. that a few moments later, when everybody sworn and took their oath, right, after that they all lifted their eyes in awe. Awe means in surprise. Why? Because as a spectacular array, a spectacular means attractive, right, eye-catching. What is spectacular? Eye-catching. Right, attractive array of African jets, helicopters and troops carriers roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. So all of them were flying, making sound, that means roaring, where? Over the Union buildings, where the occasion was taking place. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision, it was not a display of just accuracy. Pinpoint precision means great accuracy. So it was not just a demonstration, it was just not the display and demonstration of a pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to the democracy, right? So they were actually exhibiting their loyalty to the democracy and to a new government, and they were showing their loyalty to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Fairly elected means that has been elected without any kind of malpractice, without any kind of cheating technique. It has been fairly elected, this new government. So whatever the jets were flying, those military helicopters were flying in the air, they were demonstrating their loyalty to the newly formed government and to the democracy. Okay? The highest generals of the South, only moments before, right? Only moments before that point, the highest generals of South Africa, South African, yeah. So, only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by. So, just before that, their chests were decorated with the ribbons and the medals for the days which has already passed. Okay, saluted me. They all saluted Nelson Mandela and pledged their loyalty, and they all oathed for their loyalty, that they will be loyal for the newly government. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. What Mandela is saying, that he has not forgotten that not so many years before, right, the same people, the same generals would not have saluted him, but they all would have arrested him, right? Okay, so he has not forgotten that. Finally, what happened? A chevron of Impala jets. Impala jets means a special type of jets, right? Chevron means in a form of V shape. In a form of V shape, left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. So these Impala jets were flying in a V-shaped form, and they were leaving these colors of smoke behind, and these colors were signifying the new African flag, right? The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems. That day was made special for me by playing two national anthems. Okay, Mandela is saying. Okay, and the vision of the whites singing Nikos Sikelel. So white people were singing Nikos Sikelel, I Africa, and the black singing Die Stem. Right. So both of them were singing. Both the groups were singing two different national anthems. The old anthem of the republics, this was the old anthem of the republic, not new. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem, both the groups were not fairly knowing the lyrics of the anthem, the lines of the anthems, right? They once despised, because they once hated those national anthems. They would soon know the words by heart. So Mandela is saying very soon they will learn the words by heart. Thank you. Now in the next part.